Hi, I'm Boruch Rabinowitz, making a difference for the Jewish people. Today we're doing the 48 Ways, number 5. This class is in Pirkei Avos, Ethics of Our Fathers, the 6th chapter of the 6th Mishnah, and it was given over to me by my rabbi, Rabbi Noach Weinberg, who has an unbelievable amount of depth and understanding. Number 5 of the 48 Ways is Be'ema. Translated into English, it means awe. What is awe? Awe is an emotion of feeling insignificant in the face of overwhelming power. On the one hand, we feel insignificant, and on the other hand, it's overwhelming and transcendental. It's hard to imagine being constantly in awe. We think it will wipe us out, but we're just not used to it. Awe lifts us out of the pettiness and brings us to meaning and significance. That's what awe is. So how do we actually go about and attain this state of awe on a constant basis? One is to experiment. What did you feel when you experienced an earthquake or a hurricane or seeing a big wave or the first time you were on a plane? Do you remember what happened? Try to fix and remember that experience and to define what the essence of it is. What did you feel? So that's one part, the overwhelming power of something. Then there's the aesthetic experience, the quiet awe, the sunset, the stars, the ants in their ant farm, a beautiful person, a beautiful child, snow and ice on a tree. You ever see after an ice storm, the trees are just sparkling and it's beautiful, playing music, children laughing. Recall that experience. And what it is that you feel insignificant in the face of beauty and majesty. So understand what happens in the dynamics of regaining that feeling again. That's the point. We have to regain that feeling consciously, understanding what it is and how to get it back. With all our small powers, we confront and link up to the overwhelming power, the order of the world, the beauty, the distance, the harmony of existence. So we have to focus that the experience happens to be pleasurable. It shouldn't wipe us out. I mean, it should wipe us out, a hurricane, but really it makes the rest of your pleasures pale. It's the ultimate transcendental experience. So why is it pleasurable in seeing your insignificance? Appreciate that awe rips us out of self-involvement from our own petty world and petty occupation. It rips us out of our rut, from the world that doesn't mean anything. With awe, you're not involved directly with that level anymore. It puts us into the transcendental, the eternal, the ultimate beauty, the meaningful. That's the pleasure we thirst for. We all like to break out of this shell, out of our day-to-day humdrum drag of life. For a moment, we could be ripped out and touched by the ultimate power. It's our transcendental pleasure. We have to aim for it. The Almighty created a human being for pleasure. Pleasure is energizing. With it, you can go out and you can accomplish great things. You can fight for what's good and you can make a change in the world. But if you're miserable, why fight for them? Let them fight for me. Remember, these moments and that pleasure. Try to recapture it. Once you've done that, so then you can transport yourself back to it. We have that ability to relive what we experienced before. And we can find triggers to try to get us back to that point, to recreate it. If we understand really what awe is, it's much easier to accomplish. Because you might think it's inhibiting because you know what you're trying to do, and that if it was a mystery, you could hit it spontaneously, but it's more easily accomplished if you know what you're aiming for. You know the definition and how to get there. The idea is to live with awe. It will bring you energy for living, especially when you need it. So it's teachable. It's constantly about us. Here's a few triggers that are immediately available just to learn to focus. Like, if you ever looked at a book or a pen, what are they? They're really just a mass of electrons rushing in space. Blood cells are streams of electrons holding together and grabbing other electrons of oxygen. They're traveling through this designed circuit and all spinning like mad. Imagine the complexity. It boggles the mind. There's enough power in the atoms of a book to blow up the world if you can convert them back to free flowing energy. It's this awe experience, if we focus on the world around us, is there. Essentially, take it further, that awe is God. It's not just a number of atoms. It's the meaning behind the awe that stirs us, the overwhelming, the transcendental nature, the eternal. So we have to use awe consciously. God the eternal, God the creator, is walking with me. Don't only use God when you're in trouble, like there's no atheist in a foxhole, I need God now. We have to understand that God is an awesome experience, and it lifts us up beyond the mundane of this world. And if we focus on the world around us and the awesome experience of it, it will lift us up. Remember, there's nothing mundane about existence. Jewish consciousness says that whenever you did something, you say to yourself, I'm doing this to appreciate the oneness of our Creator. And then it puts you in a position to see the splendor of God. Also, when learning Torah, if you focus on what you're doing, you're learning God's Word. Wow. It becomes an awesome experience. Also, we have to use it for living. That there's nothing mundane about the world. We just sort of space out. So use it to get in touch and to arouse our astonishment and curiosity. This is really the pleasure that we're longing for, this transcendental experience. So we also can use it because when we're in awe, we're not focused on the petty world, the nonsense, and that's occupying our minds most of the time. If you are in awe or bored of life, if you're bored of life and you get into awe, it lifts you up. So why do we really need this? Why do we need to focus and live with this awe? So first of all, we shouldn't bring down to God to our level. Man's tendency is to make pettiness out of everything. Pettiness out of beauty. We get used to things. We really get used to things. But awe really gets you in touch with the power and the power that we're living around, the awesomeness of the world. Also, when we have awe, it breaks our tendency to be lazy. It gets you out of the rut. It unleashes your power and your unlocked energies that are there. And it's sanity. We shouldn't be schizophrenic. God is everywhere. If you say, I don't care whether there's a God or not, it's ridiculous. So this is it. This is what we're seeking. We are seeking the transcendental experience. The most awesome experience is to lose ourselves in something much greater than us. It's our longing. It's really what we want. It gives us a sense of proportion. We're not living a petty life. So living with awe and this transcendental experience of knowing, of getting in touch with something greater. And even though you feel small, you feel much larger because you're connected. We need to live with awe. That's number 5 of the 48 ways. Thank you for listening. And if you liked it, please share it with somebody else, and check out my website, BoruchRabinowitz.com.